Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. God of War will go down as one of the greatest games of 2018. The father-son journey of Kratos and Atreus is only the beginning, and while we are waiting countless years for a sequel to pop up, I thought we should take a look at the hidden messages, cultural references, nods to music and film, and a few secrets too. Inevitably there will be a few narrative spoilers along the way, but if you're ready, let's go through 21 Easter eggs found in God of War. Oh, before we start, I need to get something out of my system.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy. Boy.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy. Boy. Boy.
What is it, boy?
Boy.
Okay, no more references to how many times Kratos says boy. Let's crack on. The game opens with Kratos cutting down trees in a scene very similar to the 1980s movie Commando. Arnold Schwarzenegger does quite well with his puny axe and sizable tree carrying skills, but of course, our Kratos does things a little bit bigger and better. There's a few more similarities to Commando, as the story is about a father and daughter who are attempting to leave their past life behind them, but they find themselves attacked at their wilderness home. The key difference is that Kratos and Atreus don't feed the deer, they straight up murder that meal.
I got it!
Good.
Remember the God of War E3 demo from back in 2016? About halfway through the demo, Kratos and Atreus walk across this bridge, only to be ambushed by a troll. In the final release of the game, this jump scare doesn't happen, and instead, the dialogue makes reference to this change.
Whew. I half expected there to be a troll under that bridge.
The troll fight is still present in the game, but happens a little bit later instead. Same outcome though in both versions. RIP random trolls. The God of War dev team openly acknowledges Dark Souls as a source of inspiration for their combat controls in the game. To honour Dark Souls, a small critter can be found early on in the game, which is bloody hard to kill. This crystallised little cretin looks to be a nod to the crystal lizards found in Dark Souls, and guess what? They were notoriously annoying to find and bludgeon too. God of War brought in another actor to play Kratos this time around. This is because the mocap needed to create the game required someone with similar physical attributes to Kratos. Up steps Chris Judge, a hulking 6'3" actor with dulcet tones perfect for the aging Kratos.
I warned you.
Judge is best known for playing Teal'c in the sci-fi series Stargate SG-1. That character's trademark catchphrase was,
Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed.
and lo and behold, it makes a brief comeback in God of War.
Indeed.
During a key battle with Grendel of the Ashes, Atreus and Kratos come out victorious, leading to this throwaway line.
Puny troll.
This is actually a nod to the first Avengers movie back in 2012, the scene where Loki meets the Hulk face to face, and this happens.
Puny god.
Puny troll.
Midway through the game now, so spoilers are plentiful. Kratos and Atreus eventually reach this puzzle in which they have to name the seasons of the year, and this interaction takes place.
Why start with winter?
It's from a song Mother used to sing.
Don't I know that one? Winter
Quiet, head.
doesn't like music either. Got it.
The song the head is about to start singing looks to be an old Carole King song called You've Got a Friend, and the iconic line, winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call and I'll be... Oh god. My own mother sang this to me as a child, so I can see why the creators would include this in the game. Lovely touch. Although God of War may be a reboot of sorts, the story does follow on from the original games back on the PS2 and PS3. The game makes repeated references to the previous saga, such as Kratos has a huge hulking scar through his torso from the moment he looked to have killed himself at the end of God of War 3. There's loads more, the returning Blades of Chaos, the cameo from Athena, and even their father Zeus makes an appearance in Hell. To compound the influence of Zeus, Kratos even quotes his papa when it's time to kill the stranger. The cycle ends here.
You will never be the ruler of Olympus. The cycle ends here.
Why? Why do you even care? You could have walked away.
The cycle ends here. Must be better than this.
The cycle ends here. Other references are a little more subtle, such as the vase, or vase, it's a vase, isn't it? Anyway, crack on. Such as the vase with Kratos' image upon it, and the colour scheme of black and red. Those who played God of War 3 will be able to identify this as the Fear skin. When wearing this in that game, it increased the enemy attacks by 400%. Has anyone found that skin or costume in the new God of War? I want it so bad. Another subtle nod to God of War 2 and the Sisters of Fate are referenced too, with this interaction between father and boy.
What does it say?
The runes symbolize the three Nornir.
Nornir.
The Fates.
The Fates. No good comes from them.
But
Okay.
without a doubt, the greatest reference back to the original God of War trilogy comes in the shape of the treasure map for the boat captain's key. Back in God of War on the PS2, the first task Kratos undertakes is to defeat a Hydra, which he does by impaling it through the ship's sail. He then goes into the Hydra to save the boat's captain. Or does he? See for yourself.
Thank you! Thank the gods you came back for me!
I didn't come back for you.
Later on in the game, Kratos meets the boat's captain once again.
Let go, fool! You won't drag me down to that cursed river!
There is a task left for me above. I will see it completed.
You again?
After being dropped to his certain death, the boat captain reappears in God of War 2 during Kratos' fight with the barbarian king. Ulrich summons the dead to fight alongside him, and one of those countless enemies happens to be the boat captain, who reacts like this.
No! Not you again!
He'll run around the battlefield and poses zero threat to Kratos, so take him out as you see fit. His reference in God of War 3 is much more subtle and comes in the form of a note in hell, which reads, "He could have saved me, he had my life in his hands, and still he let go. I may have been a mere boat captain, but he treated me as if I was nothing. He is to blame for my torment here. I hope he suffers in Hades as I have. Damn the ghost of Sparta." Back in the new God of War now, and the boat captain's key treasure has more to add to this subplot. Reading, "With the boat's captain in the belly of the Hydra, the key was mine. I travelled to a new land, but my ship wrecked and sunk." So the story of that key and the boat captain is not yet over. Expect to pick this one up when God of War 2 rolls out. In God of War, the sons of Thor, Modi and Magni may sound a little familiar.
Surrender. The All-Father demands it.
And where do you think you're going?
They are voiced by VO heavyweights Nolan North and Troy Baker, who superbly played another set of famous brothers in another PlayStation exclusive, Uncharted. Both have also appeared in The Last of Us, which was a huge inspiration to the God of War developers. Next we have another Easter egg referencing the Marvel Universe again. This time it's Avengers Infinity War and Thanos' favourite garment, the Infinity Gauntlet. This is part of a side quest. The mission Family Business ends on a boat, but just before you can leave the area, Kratos is attacked by this gentleman.
Focus up, boy.
Dispatching him drops the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages. When equipped, the animation resembles the Infinity Gauntlet and can be upgraded to achieve extra damage and other perks. The rune slots can be upgraded, and around the world it's possible to find all 6 Infinity Stones from the Marvel Universe, but they've been adapted for copyright reasons. But keep in mind you'll only require 3 to fully utilise the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, you'll also need Dragon Tears too, so this quest will take you a long time. If you were lucky enough to pick up one of the special editions of God of War, you'll get this cloth map to savour. Well, this bad boy holds a secret. A group of superfans translated the ancient text and somehow figured out what to do to unlock the secret item. In short, Kratos must stand atop of the Muspelheim Tower on the centre circle. Once in position, face the temple, then turn left to the fire, back to centre, right, left, centre, down to the floor, right, left, centre once more. If all is right, a gong will acknowledge your acts. Now step forward and receive your reward. By the way, if it doesn't work, leave the area by the door behind and return again. The legendary axe pommel is pretty useful too. I'm going to throw this one in quite quickly here. Have you noticed the resemblance the statues around the world have with the Lord of the Rings? The Watchmen in particular look straight out of Gondor, and there's even a mission where Atreus picks up the ring which starts to speak to him. I may be clutching at straws here, and on second thoughts it's probably more likely the Lord of the Rings films borrowed from Norse mythology rather than the other way round, but I'm not sure. What do you think? To end, let's look at the brilliance of foreshadowing in God of War. That's where you hint at something early on, which then comes to fruition later in the game or story. If you've got to this point in the video, I'm sure you've finished the game, but if you haven't, quick, run while you can. During the conversation in which Kratos tells his son he's a god, Atreus asks,
Can I turn into an animal?
Can you turn into an animal? No. No, I do not think so.
Those that have finished the game know that Atreus is actually the god Loki, and that question references Norse myth, which tells us Loki can indeed shapeshift. He's said to become a fish, a horse, and even a fly. He can also turn into human-like beings too. He's also said to be the father of Jormungandr, so expect a little time travel in future games. The foreshadowing even happens in the opening fight with the stranger. During the battle, Kratos drops a boulder on BALDR. There's a joke there. Is there a joke there? No joke intended. But there's actually a stone carving or painting on the rock, which gives away the plot of the game. The full carving is revealed in the last moments of the story, but the eagle-eyed of you saw it in the first 30 minutes. So with that knowledge of foreshadowing, it's possible to break down so many more elements within the game. I counted around 20 possible hints to future content and sequels, but the one which stood out the most occurs when Dad and Boy reach Odin's abode and discover the symbols of war from around the world. We already know about the Omega sign, which we've taken to signify the god of war in Greek mythology, but there are 3 other locations Kratos could be heading to after this trilogy. In the top left corner is the Eye of Horus from Egyptian origins. There's also a swirling pattern in the bottom left and right corners, which are used in both Japanese symbolism and Celtic following pagans, which represent their 3 goddesses and 3 worlds controlled by the sun. The Japanese version uses black and white to signify good and evil, light and dark. I don't know about you, but feudal Japan would be an awesome place to visit as the Ghost of Sparta. In fact, where would you like Kratos to go next? What about Egypt? That could be really cool. After seeing what Assassin's Creed have done there, I would love to see the God of War wreck all those bitches. And finally, the secret ending that so many people have missed, which sets up the main antagonist for God of War 2. After completing the main campaign, take yourself and your boy for some rest and relaxation back at your home. Then sit back and enjoy this.
What was that?
The ball!
Thor versus Kratos. I cannot wait for that one. So there we have it, 21 Easter eggs, references and occasional secrets too. I do hope you've enjoyed this whistle-stop tour of God of War, and if you haven't played it yet, I implore you to do so. It's a real masterpiece. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade, and if you've made it to the end, do me a favour, write in the comments Captain Buttmunch. I will reply to you, you have my word. Thanks for sticking around, I really do appreciate it. I will see you next time.